Welcome to another edition of Inside Rebel Football. Jim Norris, your host, joined by the head coach of the West Monroe High School Rebels, Jerry Arledge. It's week 3. The Rebels off an incredible 31-24 win, 31-24 win against McGill-Tulane out of Mobile, Alabama. And, Coach, it was an instant classic.
In my book, it was a classic. In most everybody's that saw it,
was an instant classic.
You know, to me, the funny thing is that people turned off the radio. People had left the stadium, and some diehard Rebel fans that I know
were walking out
that did the same thing. And I, as a spectator, I probably have done the same thing before. I did it at LSU one time, thinking there's no way they're going to win, and then you get outside and you hear the roar. Well, maybe they did win. And that's what happened the other night. But our kids just, it's just, and I say this over and over, it's just like you'd written a script and you want a great finish to the end of a ball game, a big game, and they did it.
Well, but
they did it.
If you wrote that script and you brought it to me, your producer, I'd say, Coach, look, you got to change this somehow. They're not going to believe this ending.
Yeah.
They'd have probably rejected your script.
Probably so. But we know that
it happens.
It happens. It happens. And Coach Ware, he mentioned earlier about, well, I'm probably out of sequence here, but the thing that Ethan Swanner did is he's reminding everybody on that sideline before we go back out there, hey, strip the ball. We got to strip the ball.
Hold them up.
Hold them up. And that's exactly what he did. The play was run to our right. Ethan is on our left side. So he comes all the way across down the line and gets in on the tackle. Someone's holding him up, gets there and pulls the ball out. And, the amazing thing is a lot of times you pull the ball out and it's on the ground. It's kicked around. It goes out of bounds. It's still their ball. They recover it. Well, this thing popped up in the air right into Harvey's hands, and he never missed a stride. And he happened to be the deepest guy on defense, so there wasn't a chance of anybody catching him. He's the closest guy to the goal line.
But the Rebels, they just didn't give up. And I know the coaches are telling them, look, hold him up, strip the ball,
that's right.
And, that's the only chance we've got. But, a lot of players that might not respond to that, and they might not chase the ball like they did because it looked like it was over. But these guys just didn't give up.
Well, the thing that surprised us is that, and I'm going back in memory, I think on first down, they ran a play, a little over a minute to go. They ran a play, and we called timeout. Okay, now it's under a minute. So we have no more timeouts.
The last timeout. The timeout you called was the last timeout.
Yeah, with about 50-something seconds to go. When you add it up, they probably could have knelt, taken the snap, quarterback touched the ground with his knee, and waited another 25, and probably would not have needed to run a play. But I was told by a pretty reliable source that the official on their sideline, told their coach, hey, they're out of timeouts. Are you going to kneel on the ball? And he said, no, we're going to run the ball. Wow. So if that's true,
if that's true, he consciously decided to run the football.
That's what I heard. But you hear a lot of things.
Well, you do.
But evidently he did.
Well, he did.
Because he must not have figured out that he could have stopped, burned the clock, the clock.
I'll be honest with you, once you went to overtime, the last few plays at the end of the game, they got the ball back after the kickoff, had decent field position. They ran, it looked like the same play 3 times.
They did. Our sideline, quick outs, get out of bounds. And I'm assuming he's trying to work it down to get a shot at a long field goal.
But they lost yards.
But they kept losing yardage. They did on some of them. They sure did.
Why would you run it 3 times in a row?
Well, I would not have. I would have thrown the ball down the field. I would have tried to throw the ball deep, and I thought that's what he should have done. But I'm glad he threw the little short ones.
I'm glad he did too. And then in overtime, it looked like they were out of sync offensively. They had to take a timeout, and they barely got another play off.
That had to be a tremendous shock for those guys. Hey, we've got the victory. Well, no, we don't have the victory. And to me, that's a tremendous shock. But when we were able to score that last touchdown, the momentum was so strong on our side. I had no doubts we were going to win the ball game.
What about the offense? They win the toss, and they do the right thing. They didn't mess that up. They made you guys take the football first.
Mm-hmm.
What about our offense just lining up, coming right at them and score?
Well, that's you can call it whatever you want, old school football or whatever. But if your offensive line will come off the ball, it's hard to stop. It is hard to stop at old option. When you got a big fullback like we put Caden Pierce in there, he's probably 210, 215, ran very hard. The offensive line came off. What did we get on the first down?
About
5 or 6 yards.
Yeah.
And that really is a big boost.
Well, but you know,
we scored in 3 plays.
And I know you felt good.
Yes.
About the overtime, but you had to defend for 5 plays in overtime from the 10 yards.
Well,
10-yard line.
the thing that helped, of course, in high school football, interference is not an automatic pass interference. It's not an automatic first down. In that case, it was half the distance, which put the ball on the 3-yard line. And again, my player of the game has to be Ethan Swanner, because he gets there and they're lined up on the 3-yard line, and he bobs his head. Doesn't move anything, just his head, and the offensive lineman moved. Illegal procedure. 5-yard penalty.
And actually, we gained more yards because they only picked up 3 or 4,
that's right.
and then we pushed them back 5.
That's right. They gained 3 on the penalty.
Yeah.
And now they're back on the 8-yard line. and then Brad Williams makes an outstanding play there on the last 4th down.
But I mean, you defended every single time, and I mean, you had play after play after play in overtime, all 5 plays. I thought the Rebel defense just wouldn't quit.
Well, as I say, when you have a play of that magnitude to steal the ball and go score the tying touchdown, you feel like it's destined that you're going to win the ball game.
But you still got to go do it.
But but that momentum is
helps.
awful strong.
It helps.
Old Mo is very tough.
Boy, you pressured the quarterback, your defense.
That was probably the biggest
night long.
surprise for us. And I know we're a pretty good football team, defensive, front, linebacker, secondary.
I'll say.
We're probably about as good as we've been in several years. But up front, really, that's where our strength is. Most of the seniors, except for Malcolm, he's a junior, and the kids are pretty talented, and they played a lot together, and they're a pretty seasoned group. And losing last year's semifinal game, all those things have had great. We've had a great off season in the summer. Kids have worked extremely hard. They believe, and they're very coachable. And you put those things, and they got a little talent. There's a little bit of talent there.
Got a little talent.
And we were going against an offensive line that was not as seasoned, and it showed.
I'll tell you what.
It really surprised me that we were able to sack him and that many times and to get that kind of pressure on him.
I'll tell you what you did the other night. You made believers out of all of us.
Well,
I know the kids believe, but you made believers out of all of us.
Well, it proves that old fact that you got to play 48 minutes in the game, and we actually played
a little bit more.
About 50-something minutes, but at 48 it was is even Steven.
Well, Coach, great win, and I know you enjoyed every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Every second of it.
That's what makes an old guy like me happy. Keep on playing.
Well, that's what makes all of us happy.
Yes, it is.
Look, we're going to take a break and be back with more Inside Rebel Football. Get to talk with the coach a little bit later on in the show. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Sanson Family Medicine, 32 of the best, most dedicated medical professionals in the area, assembled in a state-of-the-art medical clinic with in-house x-ray, lab, EKG, and more. We treat your whole family, from geriatrics to pediatrics, in their own building, and women's health from a woman's perspective. We treat everything, from sniffles to broken bones, from acute care to physicals and immunizations. Your complete clinic for the whole family, 7 days a week. Sanson Family Medicine, 2309 Arkansas Road, West Monroe.
The Graduate Shop has been serving Northeast Louisiana schools for over 50 years. We provide the highest quality class rings, letter jackets, graduation announcements and accessories, as well as caps and gowns. The Graduate Shop enjoys celebrating special recognitions with our schools, especially when they win a state championship ring. We strive to provide the best service to our schools and families as they capture these special memories. The Graduate Shop, serving our community with quality graduation products.
Hey Louisiana, do you want a great deal? Talk to Jim Taylor.
He can make it real in a Chevy.
At Jim Taylor Chevrolet, the Chevy Silverado is the right tool for the job to get tools to the job, big or small.
With plenty of cargo room, extended cab, towing capacity of 13,000 to 14,500 pounds, available easy lift and lower tailgate, and a 6-liter V8 engine.
You won't work harder, you'll work smarter. See your success with Jim Taylor Chevrolet in Rayville.
Build something unique. Find new roads.
The Home Improvement Outlet keeps you building for less.
Right now at the Home Improvement Outlet, get all new GE appliances packed with refrigerator, freezers, oven, microwave in stainless or in black or white. The Home Improvement Outlet is your GE showcase dealer. Get 12 months interest-free financing, or the no credit check option is available. We also carry major name brands like Frigidaire and Samsung. The Home Improvement Outlet can improve your home for less.
The Home Improvement Outlet keeps you building for less.
Welcome back to Inside Rebel Football. It's time to talk a little offense. Jim Norris back with you, and we're going to be joined by, I think it's offensive line coach, going to get this right over time, Coach John Barron.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
New addition to the staff at West Monroe High School. Glad to have you with us tonight. Glad to have you on the staff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be here.
All right, tell us where you came from, a little bit about your background.
I came from Ouachita High School last year. You know, it's a place I enjoyed. It's a place that was good to me. Liked the kids, loved the head coach. A lot of relationships there. But you know, this is a situation here where my wife and I felt like it was home. You know, we've lived in West Monroe for 12 years now.
Wow.
We've had opportunities in the past to move, and we had one recently come up a couple years ago, and we talked about it and prayed about it and decided that this is where we wanted to be. We wanted to raise our family. Then at the end of spring football last year, Coach Arledge called me. We had our spring game on a Thursday. He called me a Friday afternoon, and you know, kind of taken back a little bit. And you know, we talked, and things just kind of accelerated real quick. And long story short, here I am. Glad to be here.
Well, it's glad to have you and your entire family. Of course, you've been in West Monroe, as you mentioned, for years, but it's good that you can now call West Monroe High School home.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
Well, I tell you what, you weren't here at West Monroe High School long before you were part of one of the classic games in West Monroe High School history. Tell us about that. What was it like?
Wow. You know, really, the only thing you can say is wow. It was a good game. The resiliency these kids shown. You know, clearly with the defense, the big stand they had, but just a slugfest all 4 quarters. It was nothing short of amazing. Just the effort. Now look, we watch film and we're proud of the effort. There's a lot of things we need to clean up on, and they know that. But just the effort, the fight in these kids, I mean, just never gave up, not 1 second. And it showed. You know, mathematically we were all but eliminated. You know, it's. I don't want to, you know, tell you what their coach should have done, shouldn't have done. That's none of my business. That's his shoes. He did what he thought would give his team the best chance to win. Looked out for us, you know, and just the resiliency these kids shown. It was awesome.
Well, that's true. A trademark in that football game. The Rebels just never gave up. They were anchored on offense by a couple of guys you brought with us tonight. You do coach the offensive line?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, it's no surprise then you brought a couple of those linemen with you.
Yes, sir.
Introduce the folks at home.
To my left right here, we have number 55, Ethan Boyer. He's our center. He's kind of the guy that makes us work. He sets a lot of the calls. You know, he's one of those guys you don't notice. He's not on the edge. He's not on the island per se, but you don't notice him till he messes up. And lucky for us, he's done a great job so far. And then to his left is our wide tackle, Blake Everett. They're both juniors for us, and Blake is kind of on the island by himself. He's kind of
no question about it. Sometimes
you use the term weak side, but it's not weak by any means. It's just he's away from the tight end, and these are 2 guys that have led us, you know, these first 4 games for sure. and we get tagged with that young trademark. You know, everybody, you know, we're young up front, we're youthful, inexperienced, and all that, but it's about time to shake that tag. You know, we've had 4 contests against 4 really good opponents, and we feel like we've grown in each contest. We feel like we've gotten better. You know, maybe not at the pace, you know, we won't, but we're excited about it. And man, these guys got a bright future ahead of them for sure.
Well, they certainly do. Ethan, Blake, welcome to the show. And we've got a little tradition now we've started, a little rapid fire. Ethan, I'm going to start with you first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, look at that camera, and here we go. Best dressed offensive lineman?
Probably Vic. I think
Victor Cutler.
Yes,
how about that? Favorite pizza?
Pepperoni.
What are you afraid of?
Getting put on my butt.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Do you hear Yanny or Laurel?
Yanny.
Now, if you could choose one coach to take your final exam, who would it be?
Coach Barron.
And if you scored a touchdown and you could do a touchdown dance, what would it look like? Give us just a little preview.
The floor is yours.
It's all yours.
I guess I celebrate my teammates, you know. I guess that's what I do.
All right. All right, Blake, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, look at the camera. Nickname?
Fudd.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Bieber or Drake?
Drake.
Funniest thing that has happened to you recently?
I guess getting put on my butt.
Do you hear Yanny or Laurel?
Laurel.
Now, if you could choose one coach to take your final exam, who would it be?
Probably be Coach Adams.
And if you scored a touchdown and could do a touchdown dance, what would it look like?
I would probably run to Cam, and I'd pick him up because if I scored, he fumbled.
How about that? Guys, a tremendous job the other night. Ethan, you've played a lot. You played some your freshman year. What was it like the other night in playing in one of the most memorable games in West Monroe High School history?
Probably one of my best experiences as a Rebel, you know. They were a pretty good team up front, you know. Just a great win.
And tell me about this offensive line. You guys are young, but how's the chemistry? How are you coming together as a unit?
We have a offensive line dinner like every week. You know, we'll hang out on weekends, go to the movies or whatever. You know, we're always hanging out during the week. So
that certainly builds that chemistry. And Blake, you guys have known each other and competed against each other for a long time, starting when you guys were young. Is that true?
Yes, sir. Ever since we were about 5 years old.
Is it finally good to get on the same team and kind of play for the same against the common opponent?
Absolutely. We've always been friends, even when we were playing against each other. So now we just get to combine forces, I guess, and play for each other.
Well, I tell you what, that's something that's fun to watch. And what was it like being in that atmosphere and winning a game like you guys did the other night?
It was unforgettable. It was something that I will never forget and something that I'll cherish in my heart forever. It was a great team, and we came up to play, and I loved every second of it.
Well, I tell you what, and the fans, Coach, they loved every second of it too. What a game, and it's something these guys can build on.
Yeah, it was the experience they got, you know, and you, as a coach, you don't want to get involved in the score on the scoreboard. You know, you want to keep fighting when the final buzzer sounds, let the chips fall where they may. And I think that was a lesson these guys learned this Friday. You know, we were all but eliminated, all but beat, and just kept fighting. You know, being resilient like we talked about. Just kept fighting and kept fighting. Let the chips fall where they may. And you know, we were on the good end of that this week.
Certainly.
And just hope we can continue doing that.
Well, guys, I hope you can continue to do that too. Blake and Ethan, thanks for being on the show, and best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Sir,
and Coach, just stay with us. We're going to go over some offensive highlights a little bit later on. We're going to take a break now, a timeout, and be back with more Inside Rebel Football in just a moment.
Kilpatrick's provides guidance to create meaningful ceremonies to honor the life of your loved one. You'll receive exactly what you selected. Others may offer you one thing and provide another. Your family's interest is our first priority. We offer individualized services to fit any need. Kilpatrick's provides service, facilities, and prices second to none. Kilpatrick Serenity Gardens offers many beautiful settings.
Choose wisely.
Choose Kilpatrick's.
When you're down for the count and there's no way out, call Sam. 'cause there's things we can do to get you back on straight and true. Call Sam. Don't let it fall apart. Make that call, get a fresh start and call Sam.
Louisiana, do you want a great deal? Talk to Jim Taylor.
He can make it real in a Chevy.
This Chevrolet Silverado is made of high-strength steel, not aluminum.
We start with a roll-formed steel pickup box floor that's stronger, lighter, and more durable than a traditional stamped steel bed. 9 cross members provide lateral support. Hydraulic body mounts enhance comfort while hauling, towing, and tackling rugged terrain. This technology is the newest revolution in tough.
See it for yourself at Jim Taylor Chevrolet in Rayville.
Lead the pack. Find new roads.
I'm sick and I need to see a doctor right away.
You don't want to sit and wait and wait and wait
And wait.
to be worked in.
Hello?
At Sanson Family Medicine, you're welcome to make an appointment, but you don't need one. Walk-ins are welcome. From pediatrics to geriatrics, open 7 days a week.
I'm actually seeing a medical professional.
Sanson Family Medicine, 2309 Arkansas Road, West Monroe.
Welcome back once again to Inside Rebel Football. It's week 3, and it's time to talk a little defense, and we have the defensive ends coach for West Monroe High School. Coach Ware. Coach, welcome to the show, and what an outstanding win
It's
Friday
good
night.
to be here, especially after you have one like we had the other night. That was a lot of fun.
Boy, that was a lot of fun. Was it fun for you guys on the sidelines?
It was a little nerve-wracking, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think I lost about 10 pounds running up down the sideline the other night. I get kind of excited during them kind of games.
Well, I know you do. Your defense played outstanding, Coach. You stopped the run effectively, but the pressure on the quarterback was just incredible all night long.
Well, that was part of our game plan going in. You know, we knew they had a quarterback that's a Memphis commit, and he can throw the football. We felt like we had to affect him. You know, if we couldn't sack him, we still wanted to be able to hit him, make him move, and make him have to make some tremendous plays. He made a few, but we got him a lot too.
Boy, you certainly did. You know, you look at sacks, you look at pressures, quarterback hits. How many sacks did you have in that ball game?
I believe it was 8.
Wow.
We got him.
How many times did Malcolm get him?
I think Malcolm got him twice.
Twice. What about the man to my right?
I think he was in on a couple of 2 or 3 of them, and I think Dontrell Cobbs was in on a few, and it was just scattered out. I think Tanner Zordan might have been in on one. I think it was scattered out amongst all of them. We've got a lot of youngsters that can make plays, and the other night we needed every one of them.
Boy, do you ever? So when you add up the sacks, the pressures, and the quarterback hits, what did that total the other night?
I have no idea. It would be a bunch of them. I'm going to tell you what, that quarterback they had, he was a tough kid because we sure put some shots on him, and he kept on getting up and coming back. And, you know, that we beat a whale of a football team the other night.
But I thought one of the keys was their inability to run the football. You put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but they just never really got the run game going.
No, sir, they didn't. Up front, I thought Coach Arledge had an outstanding plan for what we were trying to do with them, and we had some youngsters up there that are pretty hard to block. And they had a young offensive line, and they had a hard time getting a hat on a hat with us, and so it played to our favor when the offense ended up being one-dimensional.
I agree with you there. You know, talking about this front seven and the defensive line in particular for this Rebel football team, it's pretty good, and you brought a couple of those guys with you.
Yes, sir. You got Dalvin Hutchinson right here to my left, and to his left, Andrew Gleason. Those 2 guys are a big part of what we're doing.
Well, are they ever? And Dalvin, they tell me you've slimmed up.
Yes, I did. Well, I mean, I'm still big, but I'm smaller than what I was.
And Andrew, is it the shoulder and the knee, or?
It's both, but they're feeling good. I've recovered fully and just getting back into playing.
Well, I really didn't even need to ask. I watched you play, so obviously you're back to health. I've got a little rapid fire round for you guys. Who wants to go first?
Dalvin.
Dalvin is the man. All right, Dalvin, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, be sure to look at that camera now. Best hair on the team.
Best hair? Wow.
Hamburg.
Yeah, Hamburg.
Hamburg. Favorite candy?
Snickers.
What is your dream car?
Man, Mercedes.
Mercedes. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Chocolate or caramel?
Both.
Do you hear Yanny or Laurel?
Yanny.
Now, if you could choose one coach to take your final exam, who would it be?
Rob Arledge.
All right, Andrew, you're up. You're up.
All right.
Best dressed defensive lineman.
I got to go with Dalvin.
Wow. Remember the Titans or Friday Night Lights?
Remember the top? Oh, no. Friday Night Lights all the way.
Favorite summer activity?
I guess fishing.
One word to describe you.
I don't know there.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Favorite cereal?
Lucky Charms.
And do you hear Yanny or Laurel?
Laurel.
If you could choose one coach, other than your grandfather, to take your final exam, who would it be?
Coach Ware.
Coach Ware. How about that? Well, look, guys, that's just to kind of get you warmed up a little bit. Andrew, tell me what it was like overcoming the shoulder and the knee, and you just don't seem like you've missed a beat. In fact, you look bigger and stronger and faster than you were last year, and that's pretty impressive because you were pretty big, pretty strong, pretty fast last year.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I just tried to make it a point that I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm going to come back and I'm going to be bigger, faster, and stronger next year, and that's what I tried to do.
Well, you certainly accomplished that. And what was it like? I mean, you guys harassed and harangued that quarterback the other night all night long. What was the key?
Well, I mean, it's just getting past those O-linemen and make sure you get a hit on that quarterback. And, I mean, he was a tough sucker, though. He kept getting back up.
Well, he did that. That team kept coming back. Who's the toughest offensive lineman to go against in practice?
Probably Victor Cutler. Just got this size and length to him. It's hard to get past him.
Dalvin, going to be a big week for you this week. You're playing a team. You're going to know a lot of those guys on that team. What's it going to be like for you?
It's going to be a regular old game. It's not that much. Last year it was pretty nervous, but this year I feel like it's a regular old game.
Well, what did you think was the key the other night for West Monroe to come back and win that football game against a really good football team, Dalvin?
Just keep faith and never let your head down. Even though we was down, we just kept fighting. And, we eventually ended up coming back, and I felt like just keeping faith was a very big part of it.
I know you get a lot of double teams. Can anybody block you one-on-one?
Nah, not really, but, usually I'm on the nose, so I'm getting double team every play. If you watch the nose, yeah, you're getting double team every play.
You're right. These two guys, the nose does get double teamed an awful lot, Coach, but these two guys are an integral part of what you're trying to do defensively.
Yes, sir. Dalvin does get doubled a lot, but that frees up somebody. When we have linemen, the quality of what we have, and they have to double team them, that means somebody's running free. And we just got to, those people got to keep making plays. And sometimes we defeat those double teams. That's what we work for every day in practice, is to keep getting better and better and better.
Now, how long have you been coaching all total?
This is my 33rd year.
Was there a game any better than the one last Friday night?
There's been some dandies through the years, but I don't know if I've ever been in one that had a finish like that. I mean, that was special. That was special.
Indeed, guys, that was a special win, and I think it's going to be a special season for you guys. I wish you the best. Thanks for being on the show. Andrew and Dalvin, and best of luck to you the rest of the year. Coach, you stay with us. We're going to look at some highlights in just a moment. We'll be back with more Inside Rebel Football when we return.
The Home Improvement Outlet keeps you building for less.
Right now at the Home Improvement Outlet, get all new GE appliances packed with refrigerator, freezers, oven, microwave in stainless or in black or white. The Home Improvement Outlet is your GE showcase dealer. Get 12 months interest-free financing, or the no credit check option is available. We also carry major name brands like Frigidaire and Samsung. The Home Improvement Outlet can improve your home for less.
The Home Improvement Outlet keeps you building for less.
The Graduate Shop has been serving Northeast Louisiana schools for over 50 years. We provide the highest quality class rings, letter jackets, graduation announcements and accessories, as well as caps and gowns. The Graduate Shop enjoys celebrating special recognitions with our schools, especially when they win a state championship ring. We strive to provide the best service to our schools and families as they capture these special memories. The Graduate Shop, serving our community with quality graduation products.
When you're down for the count and there's no way out, call Sam.
Call Sam.
'Cause there's things we can do to get you back on the straight and true. Call Sam.
Sam.
Don't let it fall apart. Make that call, get a fresh start and call Sam.
Welcome back to Inside Rebel Football. Jim Norris. It's time to look at some highlights, and we have back with us offensive line coach John Barron and Coach Ware, the defensive ends coach. And boy, if you had to watch some highlights of a game, fellas, this would be the game to watch.
No doubt.
And I think we're going to take a look at offensive highlights first, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes,
take us
sir.
through those.
All right, first right here, got a 27-yard field goal by Reese Altman. Reese has been great for us all year long. He does a really good job. I mean, as an offensive coach, I don't want to say you hate kicking field goals because you love scoring points anyway, you know, but you get down there and you kind of get bogged down. It's great to have a good kicker like Reese.
Our special teams player of the game, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here we have a pass, a 13-yard pass to Jerry Day. Jerry's a junior wide receiver for us, is really coming along. And Garrett does a great job. Garrett, man, he's been a field general for us all year long. He's done a great job getting us lined up, getting the ball in the right person's hands, making the great reads.
Yeah, nice throw and catch there. Calling today.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure.
Kind of helped open things up a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here, look at it again. There's Jerry again. Jerry with a 14-yard pass from Garrett. They had some good chemistry there early.
This was actually our view up in the booth. I mean, the condensation up there was really tough to see.
Yeah, it got humid quick. Now this right here, this is Cam Wright on a zone read. That's 11-yard carry. If you look at our ex-guard, our right guard here, Chaz Trichelle, and then our Y guard, Daniel Hawthorne, who that was their first time playing those two positions. They did a really good job for us up front.
Oh, right, runs hard, doesn't he?
Yes, sir, he does. He's impressive for sure. All right, this is right here. This is right again on a power read. Got a 12-yard gain. Caden, our H-back there, number
Pierce.
1, Caden Pierce, he does a really good job for us. He gets out in space. Boy, he's physical. Man, he is a physical player.
This play didn't look like it was going to gain much. Didn't look like it had much chance. Next thing you know, you pick up 12.
That's the Cam effect. Cam, man, he is a powerful runner for sure. And somebody blocks that good. Here you go, Caden, get you a dunk. Somebody blocks that
I
good.
love to see it.
Let him get him a touchdown out of it. And, man, what a hard runner he is. What a hard runner he does.
And Caden showed us a little bicep at the end of that play.
Oh, yeah. Caden's done a great job with his body, does a great job running. And it's paying off for us. It's paying off for the Rebels for sure. Right here is Garrett under center in I formation. Garrett with a little dive with an option follow. We faked the fullback dive, and Garrett follows him in there, and he gets 6 yards.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but it's a great pickup.
Man, it is, and it wears on you. It wears on the defense. Gosh, that wears on you. That's demoralizing for those guys. You see Victor Cutler right there fall forward with the pile. He does good. He gets a great surge on those guys. And, man, that opens things up for us outside for sure. And there we go.
Speaking of the outside.
Speaking of the outside, there's Cam. I think he got a 7-yard sweep right here. Zach Murphy did a great job blocking for us. The wide
He's in
receivers.
the slot.
Yes, sir. Jerry Day up top, he does a good job for us. Blake Everett, offensive lineman, getting out in space. And those guys are unselfish players, and you know, they don't care who scores as long as the Rebels win. There's Garrett right here on a little zone read keeper. You see
Great
Blake.
fake. Great fake.
And Garrett Menley is way ahead of where he should be, I guess.
you know, you had to go up against a pretty good nose tackle, young
Tennessee
man committed to
yeah.
Tennessee, and you're still able to run the football.
Man, it was tough sledding, but that credits those guys for their resiliency and their toughness. Those offensive line, man, those guys take pride in it for sure. This is Garrett Common to a little a jailbreak screen there to Michael Hamburg.
It broke.
For a 64-yard touchdown. Man, didn't it, though? And you give that kid a little bit of wiggle room, he's gone. He's tough to catch. And you got a great job setting up right here, blocked by our ex-tackle on the right side there, Victor Cutler. You see, he kind of blocks 15. That kid falls. He falls for 6-7 yards.
And Cutler's, 20 yards down the field. He's coming to the sideline.
Yeah,
but
if you go back and look, I mean, he's downfield. He's high-fiving. He's chest-bumping. He doesn't care as long as the Rebels do good. He's an unselfish player, much like all of us. Here's Cam on another hard run up the middle. Another zone run. And the offensive line did a tremendous job right here. They kind of backed up a little bit, you know, hitting some short throws, and then hitting on the screen, slowed them down. They're blitzing a little bit, and it allowed us to get there up front and just kind of impose our will on them for a little while.
you know, I thought that was one of the big differences in the game, our ability to run and their inability to run.
We got heavy on them for sure. We were heavy on them up front, and this is a great throw and catch by Garrett and Zach. If you look at the coach at the top of the screen, he's not real happy with his cornerback.
Well, this was a big third down.
This is a huge third down conversion.
And Zach makes the catch, about 3 or 4 yards short of the marker.
Zach makes the catch. Zach, he's able to, you know, Zach's elusive now. Zach's got good wiggle. He's got good speed, and he's elusive. He does a great job for us out there for sure. And this one right here, here's Garrett to
Great
Zach.
Play call.
Oh, man, it's a little throwback we have. You know, we roll out one way, and it's a little delay pass, and Zach kind of sneaks around the backside and catches it, and he's able to get us some much-needed yards.
Zach's actually in the slot on the left side. He kind of, as you say, just kind of sneaks his way and finds that open spot.
He does. He does a good job of selling the rollout to the left. Right here, oh, what a throw and what a catch right here.
Is that what they call dropping it on a dime?
That's dropping on a dime. that is putting it in the bucket for sure. If you notice, the he's in double coverage, and I guess that goes back to your playmakers making plays. Garrett put it where only the receiver could catch it, and the receiver did his job by going to catch it.
And Garrett had somebody right in his face when he threw it.
He did. Well, what a drive right here. What a drive right here. This is an overtime. This is Caden Pierce with a 6-yard fullback dive. And
critical first down play there to pick up 6-7 yards when you got to score.
If you look at our ex-guard and our ex-tackle, they did a really good job there of getting a surge. Right here, play of the game. It wasn't fancy.
But it didn't need to be.
Oh, it didn't have to be. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't flashy. But we needed a yard, and we got a yard and a half. And
well, you got the ball first, so you basically had to score a touchdown. You could have kicked the field goal, but then you'd have left the door open.
It's always beneficial to put it in the end zone for sure, and we did a good job there. It was, like I said, nothing fancy, nothing flashy, but that's been the MO of these kids all for the first 4 games.
Yeah, but it was effective. Boy, was it effective.
Exactly right. They did a good job, just their resiliency and toughness. It was fun.
It was on display the other night. Coach, you got a lot of highlights to take us through. You were on the
we had a lot
field.
Of good plays.
On the field a lot the other night. Well, take us through defensive highlights, West Monroe versus McGill-Toolen.
Okay, we start out here. You're going to have good coverage on this play by Noby Harris, Colton Harvey, Brad Williams, and they're going to buy us a little bit of time here where we can get a sack. You're going to see Malcolm Moore, Andrew Gleason going to get a sack on the quarterback. And there comes big old Dalvin, pick that thing up. And anyhow,
couldn't quite get it.
We try to scoop and score. You know, we're going to try to score on those kind of opportunities. But hey, if you can't scoop it first time, get on that ball because we want our offense to have a chance on the good end of the field.
Oh
there.
yeah, you get a short field like that, it puts you in business.
Yes, sir.
And Gleason just comes off the edge. It looks like he knew the snap count.
Well, we get off. We work on that an awful lot. We work on that an awful lot. You know, we see motion, we take off. We're keying that guy in front of us.
Sets the Rebels up first down and 10 at about the 11 or 12 yard line.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we want to do, get our offense in a great position. Here's a good job by defensive lineman, and going to see a good hit by Chandler Moncrief right there, coming off the edge. You know, we try to put him in different places where he can make plays, and right here he's a linebacker lined up like a defensive lineman. He's going to make a play for us on that edge.
So he's like a defensive end position on
Yes,
that
sir.
outside.
That's
Guy's
one of
hand on the ground.
Yes, sir. That's one of the packages Coach Arledge has, trying to utilize our players the best way we can. No, Chandler, he's used to having his hand on the ground, so it's a natural for him. Okay, there's a screen pass, defended well once again by Chandler Moncrief, Dalvin Hutchinson, Brad Williams for no gain.
Our tunnel screen worked a little better than that.
It did. It did. It did.
But watch those linemen redirect. No, Dalvin got a good shot on him right there. That's a whale of a play.
We practice against those guys every day.
Okay, here's a sack by Dontrell Cobbs. He comes in and does a whale of a job for us. You know, he's
Right defensive end,
yes,
number
sir,
91.
He's a very good pass rusher. Going to get him for a -2 right here. You can see he beat the offensive tackle, and there's the sack.
Yeah, these guys weren't any slouches up front. Big,
No,
physical guys
they're
themselves.
big rascals. We made them switch. They ended up having to put an offensive guard who was quicker out on the edge at offensive tackle to try to slow down our edge rush. We've got 3 or 4 guys that can really rush off that edge.
Boy, do you
and we've
ever.
got some in the middle, too. We're blessed right now to have some pretty good defensive linemen. Okay, right here again, good coverage. Going to lead to another sack. Dontrell, he's having a sack party right here. And Ethan Swanner's going to get involved. Chandler Moncrief going to get him for -8 on this one. And you can see it's a lot more than just one rebel back there. Dalvin trying to play Superman, isn't he?
Well, you had four rebels right there.
Yeah, that's what we try to bring pressure. We're a pressure team, and that's the way Coach Arledge wants it, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to try to affect that quarterback every single play. Make him have to make plays running from us, and the kids did just a wonderful job right there. Okay, McGill right here went to their heavy package where they brought in a bunch of defensive linemen. It's, you know, where they had just made a first down in that package, and now they're going to go to it. Going to see the tackle by Tanner Zorden up there, Brad Williams, Brooks Miller. The defensive lineman did a great job of submarining and not letting them knock us off the ball. You can see the surge we're going to have here and try to bottleneck that thing. That's one of the plays we worked on all week long because they had nobody stop that play right there.
Really?
Yes, sir. They were good at it. Yeah, here's old Brooks Miller going to get his second interception of the year.
Oh, he's been playing extremely well.
He sure has. The secondary, I'm going to tell you what, those guys do a wonderful job back there. They're what allows us to do a lot of the things we can do up front because we got some guys that can cover back there. That's Brooks' second one of the year, and he got 8-yard return on it.
You know, you got a combination of those guys on the back end, very physical, but can cover as well.
Yes, sir. They're excellent tacklers. Oh, watch old Dalvin peel off right here and get that running back. Pow, right there.
Oh.
On top of Independence. He lit him up. Yeah, we always want to find people like quarterbacks and running backs so you maybe get a shot at them right there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He
That's
got
pretty
hit
good
right
lick.
at the W of walk-ons there. Goodness.
He got him. Well, here comes Malcolm Moore for a sack for -12. Once again, good coverage on the back end. A lot of times we get sacks because of what those guys in the back end are doing.
Yeah, Malcolm's standing up.
Yeah,
Untouched.
Well, that's another one of Coach Arledge's little deals. He's going to move people around, you know, and make it where they got to find us. We ain't going to line up the same way all night long, and we move the front this way. And
They obviously didn't find
they
Malcolm.
didn't find
this
on Malcolm
play.
on that, did they? And he's pretty quick. I'll tell you what, Malcolm can change directions on a dime. He's a very agile kid coming off that edge. Quarterback tried to roll out on him, and it didn't matter. Nice play right there. Guess what? Who's coming up on the next play?
Probably Malcolm again.
Here he comes again. He's having a sack party. This one for -9. Now, they went max protection here. This is a 2-man route, and we're still getting there. They're going max protection, trying to get the ball off some way, and we're still getting the pressure.
And they double-teamed Malcolm.
Yes.
They double-teamed him.
Well, our kids did a great job the other night of when we had pressure not stopping the feet. You want to keep your feet moving through that all the time. That's what he did right there. He split the thing.
Well, that's one thing the Rebels didn't do the other night, and that was quit.
No, we didn't.
They played
these kids got a lot of heart.
the entire night.
They got a lot of heart. Okay, 1st and goal. Watch old Ethan Swanner right here from the backside, going to make a great play with help from Andrew, Luke Bell. We ended up holding them to a field goal right here. I'm going to tell you nothing right there that did a great job was old Cole Sullivan. If you can see it on this next view in there, he came in, one of our reserve linemen.
Right there on the nose, right over the center.
Well, he's over here on this side. Anyhow,
okay.
we're going to try to cut those people. And pile up all those linemen right there. That's a nice play.
So the defensive linemen are kind of submarining underneath the offensive
Exactly.
line, creating a big.
Trying to not let them get to the next level. Now here's going to come Andrew, Luke Bell. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one right here.
Yeah, Andrew's there.
3-yard sack by Andrew. Good coverage by Brooks Miller on this one. Really good play by Brooks picking up the coverage here. This was a 3rd and goal. We're going to make them have to kick a field goal. And we needed every point hit the end. I can assure you.
You did indeed.
Everything counts. Great redirect by Andrew right there to take an angle to get him out of bounds. -3. Okay.
You hold somebody inside the 5 to a field goal, that's a victory.
You bet it is. Nice play right there. 2-yard loss by Malcolm Moore. Colton Harvey. You know, there's another kid that does a lot of things for us. We can line him up at a linebacker. We can line him up in the secondary. We can bring him off an edge. He does a lot of stuff for us. Old Colton, he's solid. You're going to see after a while, he's really, he's in the right place at the right time.
You're right about that. He's extremely versatile.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be Dalvin. Going to make a tackle right there for no gain. Nice play. They tried to one-on-one him that time. You see what happens when somebody tries to do that with the center.
They might better go back to the double team.
They better get them double teams back out. Nice play. Another shot of it right here. There's the slant, and there's Dalvin.
Boom.
Drop him.
Boom.
Now here's the one that everybody wants to see. You're going to see Ethan Swanner with the strip. Colton Harvey's going to have that thing land in his lap because he's in the right place. But this is at the end of the game, and we did not have a single player out there that had lost belief. You know, they weren't going to turn loose of that rope. They're going to play every down. Just watch the effort out of these kids when they could have given up, but they weren't about to.
Wow.
They're going to play till that whistle blows.
Still get some chills. What did you tell them? What did you tell them during the timeout there, Coach?
Well, one thing I remember was Ethan just constantly saying, guys, we got to strip it. We got to strip it, and I'll be dogged if he ain't the one who got it. You know, that's what everybody was talking was. That's what we had to do to win the football game. And watch Ethan. He got his hand around. You see him jerk that thing out, and it happened to land right in Colton's lap. And he certainly knew what to do with it.
Well, he did. He did that. Took it to the house and allowed the Rebels to tie it up.
Yes, sir.
But then they got it back.
They got
they
it
still
back.
had a little time.
Had a chance, and they're going to throw a little flare pass. And look at that lick by Carson Jones. Great read on the play. Got him for -5. You can see it right here. Watch the break on the ball that he gets and whack. And he came from about 8 yards deep on that. Great read on the play.
Yeah, see, they have an outstanding kicker, and they had pretty good field position.
Yes, and that's what worried us because they had a super kicker. All right, this is down there in the overtime right here. Good pressure by Andrew. Watch him. He's going to change direction with a guy, and old Chandler Moncrief going to light him up pretty good. That's first down on the goal line right there.
Ooh. He got lit up. Now that's
real
is
proud of old
lit.
Chandler because he had been having cramps and everything, and he's just out there fighting for everything he's got. Okay, excellent coverage by Brad Williams on this one, on 2nd and goal.
Well, he had a highlight film.
Yes,
in
he
overtime.
did. Brad is a playmaker. I mean, he's always around the football, and you can see right here, he does what he has to do. That's a tough route to cover. That's a very tough route to cover, and he got his hands up in the guy's face. Just a super play by Brad.
And that may be the best receiver on the team.
Yes, sir. No doubt. 3rd down pressure. Tanner Zordon coming on the wiggle stunt, and there he comes, and the quarterback's running for his life immediately and has to throw the ball away. And that leads us to the last play of the game coming up here in just a minute. But you can see Tanner came through free. He timed it up really well. Little stunt between the nose guard and the middle linebacker.
We had to hold these guys for 5 plays.
Yes.
5 plays from the 10-yard line.
Well,
5
at
plays.
that time, I think our kids could have played all night. We were pretty wired up.
So here it comes.
Here it comes. 4th and goal. Going to get great pressure up front again. And once again, Brad Williams back there is in the right place to knock this thing down. 4th and goal. Crowd's going nuts. You can see Dalvin getting pressure. We got quarterback still running. There's Ethan gets a shot at him, and there's Brad. Nice play. Rebels win 31-24.
Rebs win. Rebs win. What a ball game. And, you know, even though you had the big strip and the fumble recovery, you know, the game was a long ways from being over.
A lot more plays to go in that one.
They had a chance at the end of the game with a decent kickoff return if they'd have had a pass play or two to maybe kick a field goal, and then you go to overtime, and the Rebels offense took care of business. And
they sure did. Our offense was fabulous down on the goal line.
And then play after play after play. And that was the end to one of the most exciting games, guys, I've ever watched.
It sure was. I'm going to tell you, when that was over, I slept good that night when I got home because I was a wore-out rascal.
Unlike him, I don't think I went to sleep till Saturday night.
Just kind of wide awake, just kind of reliving that one, huh?
And I watched, you get home and on social media you can see the news clippings and the TV and the TV shows, and nobody could believe you. Nobody believed it, and I didn't believe it. I woke up Saturday morning. And,
did that really happen?
Yeah, I asked my wife.
I think our youngsters learned a whole lot the other night. You don't never give up until that clock runs out. You still got a shot, and we proved it the other night.
Boy, you guys certainly did. Coaches, thanks for being on the show and taking us through those highlights. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be back with more Inside Rebel Football. Stay with us.
I'm sick and I need to see a doctor right away.
You don't want to sit and wait and wait and wait
and wait
to be worked in.
Hello?
At Sanson Family Medicine, you're welcome to make an appointment, but you don't need one. Walk-ins are welcome. From pediatrics to geriatrics, open 7 days a week.
I'm actually seeing a medical professional.
Sanson Family Medicine, 2309 Arkansas Road, West Monroe.
Kilpatrick's provides guidance to create meaningful ceremonies to honor the life of your loved one. You'll receive exactly what you selected. Others may offer you one thing and provide another. Your family's interest is our first priority. We offer individualized services to fit any need. Kilpatrick's provides service, facilities, and prices second to none. Kilpatrick Serenity Gardens offers many beautiful settings.
Choose wisely.
Choose Kilpatrick's.
Well, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football. Jim Norris, joined by head coach Jerry Arledge as we wind up week 3. And, we've got to eventually move on from McGill-Toolen. I know that. The coach has told me that. He's told his players that. But, Coach, just some final thoughts on the game. And I'll tell you, our players of the game, one of them was Ethan Swanner. And
I agree.
We threw in Colton Harvey because – when you're part of that kind of a play, we had to throw him in there. We had Reese Altman, your kicker, for Special Teams Player of the Game. And we had a lot of guys on offense. Coleman had another big game. Of course, Hamburg caught the ball well. Murphy caught the ball well. But we liked the hard running. About 24 carries, almost 90 yards from Cameron Wright, and we settled on him. But it was a tough choice. So the offensive line played well, too.
Yes, they did. And they're always the group that probably doesn't get much credit.
They don't.
The offensive line, and it all starts, and we say it over and over and over. We're kind of young, we're kind of inexperienced, but now we've got a couple of games under our belt, a jamboree or two, and we're beginning to gel, and they're pretty athletic. And when we gel, we'll really become a much better football team.
Yeah, Coach Barron said, look, we've got those games and that jamboree under our belt, and so no more talking about inexperience and youth.
Right.
And, it's time to make something happen. And really, we were able to run the ball, maybe not as much as we liked, but we certainly ran it when we had to. And we stopped McGill-Toolen from rushing the football.
Well, we did, and I feel like the reason was that they were very one-dimensional when they ran the ball. The quarterback, as good an athlete as he was not a threat to run the ball for whatever reason. And I think because he had missed the previous week's game with a pulled groin muscle.
Yeah.
But what a passer. Pinpoint, put the ball on the money when he had
do that.
When he had time to get the ball off. And sometimes with us in his face, he put some in a bucket 30 or 40 yards down the field.
He really did.
Very impressive young man.
Will the battle on the border series continue for West Monroe?
Well, I think so. I think it will. I've been assured that next year we'll play a Shreveport team, and I think that would really bring in much more interest. Play a Byrd, somebody like Byrd High School, good student crowd from both communities. Byrd is supported very well by their community.
Indeed.
I think it'd be a great ball game.
I do too. Did you get a chance to speak to the McGill-Toolen coach after the game?
I did not. Well, shook hands, and
game, that kind of thing.
That's it. I couldn't wait to get over and get with the kids, you know.
And
he sure didn't want to see me.
I know it. He didn't want to hang out with you very long. Well, Coach, let's talk about, I guess we got to move on. So let's talk about this week. What's practice been like for West Monroe? It's a Wednesday night as we film the show.
Well, we're back on a regular routine. Sunday afternoon, we met. We talked a few minutes about let's put this one behind us. And the old saying, let's put it in the can. The old 16-millimeter can, that's what we used to do, and put it on the shelf.
That kind of can. That's
that kind of can. That's what the reference was to the 16-millimeter film.
I understand.
A few centuries ago.
You're right.
And then Monday is a pretty light day on the field. We kind of scout report on the field, a little bit of running. And then Tuesday's a work day, pretty good work day. That's our hardest work day. Wednesday, of course, we filmed this on Wednesday evenings. We worked them probably a little harder than usual on Wednesdays this week because I want their mind on the upcoming game, not on last week's game.
Health-wise, from an injury standpoint, how the Rebels fare?
We kind of nicked up. We got a lot of work this week on some backup linemen, both offensively and defensively, and that seems to be where most of our injuries are right now.
I got you.
Offensive, defensive linemen.
Well, that's where the game's won and lost, where it's so physical.
That's right. But you know, it's Wednesday. We didn't work those guys hardly any today, so they've got 48 hours before game time.
Yeah, they got an eternity.
And our trainer Kirk Franham works wonders with that ice and those machines.
He does that.
He'll have them ready to go Friday night.
Well, Friday night's opponent is
Wasserman Wildcats.
And I tell you what,
much improved football team.
You know, they played the Rebels pretty hard a couple of times.
Absolutely, they've got a lot of talent. Quarterback is a tall kid that throws the ball exceptionally well. Tall receivers, good pass protection. They probably throw the ball 50% of the time, and they're very effective throwing the football. And they like to throw it down the field.
And I bet they've got a few athletes to.
Yes, they do. And they beat Benton, who's a pretty good football team. Beat them. I think that was the first game of the year. So they are much improved.
Well, you know, I'm impressed with their coaching staff. It seems like that new staff has really kind of set the bar a little bit higher for Wasserman in the past, and they've got them headed in the right direction.
I think they have. I really do. It won't be a cakewalk. I promise you, it'll be a battle, and we've got to be ready. We cannot overlook them.
Well, I don't think the Rebels will overlook anybody, particularly how hard they played last week. But it's always good to be back at the friendly confines of Rebel Stadium.
I'm looking forward to it.
I know you are.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Coach, one more time, congrats on the game against McGill-Toolen. I'm sorry, I just had to go back to it one more time.
That's okay, Jim. We're going to put it in the can after tonight.
All right, it goes in the can after tonight.
After tonight.
For Coach Jerry Arledge, the head coach of the Rebels, I'm Jim Norris saying, so long, we'll see you next week.